The story of the new Avatar series, Seven Havens, kicks off in the aftermath of a devastating cataclysm that is believed to have been caused by Avatar Korra, setting up the big mystery that the show will revolve around. Why did Korra destroy the world? Or was it ever truly Korra's fault? Most of the theories I've seen coming out of the fandom suggest that something else caused the cataclysm, whether it's spirit weapons or Sozin's comet, and that Korra was simply scapegoated into taking the blame. But I think the big reveal is going to be that Korra herself triggered the cataclysm, but for a justified reason, and I have a theory that explains why she could have been forced into that decision. What makes my theory even more interesting is how it connects to the second major mystery of the twin avatars, while also tying into other ideas like Sozin's comet, Pavi restoring the past lives, and my theory about the series' true villains. You've probably seen many versions of the spirit energy theory. My theory is based on the same idea. In my theory, humanity's over-reliance on spirit technology is what sets Korra on the path to dismantling the very systems that hold the world together, which ends up triggering the cataclysm. After Korra opened the spirit portals, the world entered a new age of innovation. Spirit energy became the new power source, clean, limitless, and accessible. Greedy corporations jumped on it instantly. We're talking power plants, spirit energy factories, and maybe even transportation systems, all of which were drawing energy from the 3 spirit portals, and all built around the idea that this energy could sustain civilization forever. But it couldn't. Over time, the natural balance began to fall apart. Nature started collapsing, spirits started to vanish, the air became toxic, and entire cities grew unlivable as spirit energy infrastructure destabilized the land around it. People were displaced from their homes, triggering refugee crises across all 4 nations. And in all of this, governments and industries refused to act in order to preserve profits. Korra, realizing she could no longer solve things through diplomacy, and realizing that if spirit energy exploitation continues, the damage would eventually get to the point of global extinction, Korra decides to make the most devastating decision an Avatar has ever made. She decides to destroy the spirit energy infrastructure entirely. Every power plant, every factory, every system built on siphoning spirit energy. And here's how this theory ties into my version of the Sozin's comet theory. The peak of this crisis coincided with the time of Sozin's comet, and Korra recognized it as her only chance. Channeling the comet's immense power and entering the Avatar state, she unleashes an assault on the spirit energy systems, probably unaware that her actions will set off a catastrophic chain reaction. Which sounds very Korra, if we're being honest. The resulting explosion from the fusion of Korra's firebending and spirit energy is what becomes known as the cataclysm. I think this is the best possible direction they could go with the story. One that doesn't paint Korra as a saint, but still keeps her actions understandable, knowing that the world would have faced an even worse fate otherwise. I feel like most of us interpreted the official premise to mean that both humans and spirits are united in their pursuit of the Avatar, blaming her for causing the cataclysm. But I think it's going to be that humans and spirits hunt the Avatar for different reasons. I think humans hunt the Avatar because they see Korra as the architect of the cataclysm, while spirits hunt the Avatar for allowing the exploitation of spirit energy, which was a result of Korra leaving the portals open. Leaks confirm that we'll see the 7 Havens under attack by vengeful spirits. This implies that spirits and humans are at odds, likely stemming from the resentment of spirits toward humanity's exploitation of spirit energy prior to the cataclysm. This dual blame turns the Avatar into a figure despised by both sides of the world she was meant to protect. Leaks also reveal that energy storms pose a serious threat to the 7 Havens, with benders being deployed to protect the Havens from these storms. I believe these storms are a lingering after effect of what Korra set in motion during the cataclysm. Which brings us to the mystery behind Pavi and her twin sister, and how my theory connects with the existence of 2 avatars. The prevalent theory is that one twin has Rava and the other has Vatu, which could 100% end up being the case since Korra absorbed Vatu at the end of Book 2. And we know that Vatu is supposed to eventually re-emerge. But there's another explanation that I think is even more likely, and one that fits perfectly with everything we've discussed so far. I think the true answer lies in what truly happened to Rava during the cataclysm. Remember I said Korra was in the Avatar state when she unleashed the cataclysm. And we know that when an Avatar suffers damage in the Avatar state, the Avatar spirit itself is affected. The sheer scale of the power Korra wielded, combined with unstable spirit energy, doesn't just damage the world, it fractures Rava. Note that I didn't say split. It takes many years for Rava to slowly put herself back together, causing a stall in the Avatar cycle. Fast forward to 9 years before the start of 7 Havens, only 2 fragments of Rava were strong enough to remain stable. Realizing the world desperately needed the Avatar, Rava decides to reincarnate as two, each carrying an incomplete portion of the Avatar spirit. Neither is the Avatar in full. Each is a vessel for only a fraction of what the Avatar once was. The most recent episode of Braving the Elements podcast at the time of me writing this video confirmed that we'll be learning about more past Avatars in the cycle, not just Korra.
Stuff about Kyoshi, Seven Havens is going to do the same thing. Seven Havens is going to give us insight into previous eras because
I think that having the past lives within Rava scattered across the post-cataclysm world is how they'll open the door for both sisters going on a quest to restoring the previous Avatars. Learning about their stories in the process and eventually learning about Korra's whole story, kind of like Aang did in Escape from the Spirit World. And I see this being a major focus throughout the series. Moving away from the two main mysteries, I want to share another theory I have that I think has a strong chance of being true, based on all the story details we've gotten so far about the show. My theory is that as the show progresses, we're going to find out that the White Lotus are secretly behind maintaining the narrative of the Avatar being the destroyer. The earliest Seven Havens leaks revealed that Pavi's twin sister, Nisha, was quietly placed under the care of the White Lotus after being found as a child. I think the show will initially present it as though the White Lotus only found one of the twins, but as the story unfolds, we'll learn that they actually found both girls as children. Convinced they had discovered the Avatar in Pavi's twin sister, they left Pavi on the streets and took in her sister, intending to shape her into some sort of instrument of fear to keep the Seven Havens under their control. Why would they take in Nisha and leave Pavi to rot on the streets if they weren't pursuing the Avatar for their own nefarious purposes? Which I think is probably trying to shape the future of the Seven Havens according to their own agenda. I would love to hear what you guys think about these theories in the comments. Feel free to drop your own theories too. It's going to be really fun looking back at these theories when the show finally starts airing, and I can't express enough how hyped I am for this show. With all that said, thanks for watching guys, subscribe for more interesting Avatar content like this, and I'll see y'all in my next one.